Welcome to my Diablo 2 Resurrected Lightning Trap Assassin build guide video. And the reason why I'm calling it Assassin of the Sentry, because it's a Lightning Sentry Assassin. Bad jokes aside, the very iconic original Lord of Destruction's Lightning Sentry Trapsin with Enigma and Infinity has undergone quite an evolution during the life cycle of D2 Resurrected. Today I'm able to implement new and insanely powerful endgame items into my all-time favorite build, next to many other interesting changes that got introduced step by step and have been very beneficial for this assassin playstyle. With that being said, let's get started. In order to explain the build, I will open the stat sheet real quick. I think that will explain it the best. So we scroll all the way down here, and then I have these multipliers. They have 35% increased lightning skill damage, obviously for the lightning sentry, but I also have a 25% increased poison skill damage for venom, and I can apply the venom with Whirlwind from a rune word called Chaos. And that's how this works. That's the build in a nutshell. Also, there's Lightning Pierce and Poison Pierce coming from a rune word called Plague. This also gives a pseudo curse immunity thanks to an insane cleansing aura, and can roll 1 to all skills or 2 to all skills, and then preferably it's in a Lightning Sentry base. That's a +5 to a Sentry. Really strong. The other change, and what's different here in D2R compared to LOD, is Griffins. Dun, dun, dun. So usually there's 25% lightning skill damage, and also lightning pierce to -2 enemy lightning resistance. Things like this did not work previously with the traps, and now they do. It's obviously a big boost to this archetype of a build. And not only this, on top, they introduced these new items. So I've socketed this gem in here. And the stats are just insane. It's experience gain. It's more, well, they come with different roles. Quite a variety of possible stats. And they are also, therefore, expensive if you need a good roll. I tried with all the new items I'm showing here. In a second, hop in some gameplay. But all the new items I'm showing here, I was only able to afford one stat perfect, and I went for the damage. So this is the highest possible roll in terms of damage on this Griffins and the gem, which results in this crazy item, right? Next to like the new gem, there's items called Sundered Charms. They got introduced a few seasons ago. Now they revamped them, and you can loot one in the new endgame content and in new zones, which you saw briefly in the intro. And then you can upgrade it to something like this, or I traded for this. Because quite similar to the gem, the stats on here vary quite a lot. And I've looked through several pages on like third-party websites, and I paid I think a Yar rune for this. Damn, but it's a good roll. 10% lightning skill damage. That's the highest roll possible. Flat life. Like to be real beefy on the Trapsin. I like this. It's a distant playstyle, but at the same time you're tanky AF. So a flat life roll, and a little bit of magic find. Useful, good stats in my humble opinion, what I wanted for my build. But the most important was like the just 10% flat. 10% and then the 25 from Griffins plus new gem. That's insane. But that's, now you know how the core mechanic of this works. It's just your good old lightning Trapsin with a twist. And scaling poison damage for venom to make this Whirlwind a little bit more powerful. Another thing is, the Whirlwind used to start at minus damage in a lot of destructions. Now here it will just start at 0. So every plus skill I throw into this build, not the assassin skills, all skills of course, will count to this Whirlwind, and it will improve the damage and attack rating greatly. This plus venom. But it's 99%, well, like this setup is also known as Ghost Sin, Spider Sin, whatever Sin. In my setup here, it's 99.9% a lot of destruction lightning sentry trap assassin, 99.9%. And this last remaining snippet is the Whirlwind here. So out of all my characters I have, I can only farm with 3 of them. I can farm the player's 8 heralds, right? Only 3, bro. And this is one of the player's 8 herald builds I have. With the new items, I think, yeah, they are somewhat necessary, man. That's a big multiplier for a build like this. 35%. Pretty boring playstyle, huh? No, I love this. It's the best. Fire and forget type of playstyle. The traps are smart enough. Like minions. The animation of the assassin whirling around looks insane in D2R. And yeah, it helps a lot. So I don't have a mana regen, right? This is a infinity, not an insight. But I have a ton of mana leech in the build. So I use this. I also abuse this as like a dash. I also abuse it just to gain mana back. In order to lay traps. But majority of the time it's the Trapsin, you know what I mean? But just because it's possible and because it's new and because it's resurrected specific, I have it in the build. On like a player's 8, oh nice. On like a player's 8 heralds, I don't whirl. I don't use Whirlwind because I will straight up rip, you know what I mean? So there are enough situations where I straight up cannot even whirl because I would just die. I also have a companion here, like the Shadow Warrior. Exactly, the Shadow Warrior. So just a quick second here. What's the difference between the Warrior and the Master? The Shadow Warrior will cast the ability that I have equipped here. So if I walk around with this guy and I don't click my trap, he will cast Lightning Sentry trap now for me. That's what he's doing. The other guy, the Shadow Master, he casts everything. He's tanky, he's crazy, he's near invincible if you max this out and have good gear and so on, but he will use about everything. You will see him with Tiger Strike charges, things like this. But the Warrior is literally a claw. And he also does not lay down like some scuffed variant of his trap, it's literally this. It's a 16k Lightning Sentry, and that guy is pressing this. I have it as a plus skill from the weapon, so those bases can be insanely expensive, right? This example here, 1 to Dragonflight, nice, I get the teleport kick for free. 1 to Shadow Warrior, I get that for free. And +3 to Lightning Sentry. So bases like this are expensive, and it's the, what type of claw? So this is a Zubaya, is that how you say it? The best would be a Greater Claw, and the worst would be like, what's it called? Like you have like super fast, mid, and slow, right? And the attack speed. How fast can you lay down these traps? The shooting of the traps is always the same. Cannot influence this, not with cast rate, not with attack speed. But, so I'm more or less forced to walk around with Fate. And this is the mid variant attack speed of the claw. If that makes sense. So if this would be 2 Greater Claws, would be better. It would be straight up better and would be smoother gameplay. But that's what's the right claw, you know what I mean? Not just the plus skill, but it makes it insanely expensive. If I would have this as a Greater Claw, higher runes on top of higher runes on top of higher runes. No, yeah, very few people are picking up these bases. On top of it, it's difficult to see. On top of it, it doesn't show if it has plus skills. It just says, hey, Subaya. And you have to pick up every single one that ever drops in order to find something like this, so obviously that makes it rare. It's powerful. And if we want to speak in very simple terms for a second, so I can place 5 traps and they shoot 10 times each. So with 5 mouse clicks, one trap is 16k times 5 times 10. That's the amount of damage I get with 5 mouse clicks, speaking in simple terms. And I think that's insane. That's the best build. Like, I always played this in a lot of destructions. I was the biggest assassin Andy, I swear, bro. That was the goal. I usually started Sorg, second char assassin, and then dump all the currency I found with the Sorg from rushing people, from farming keys, whatever, and then make Infinity Enigma and have a godly Trapsin. It was like the season journey, if you want to call it that way, in old LOD for me most of the time. So it's absolutely insane to be able to play this like this now. Griffins works for traps, the new gem. Having Whirlwind plus the traps. Because it's insanely nice to apply open wounds, deadly strike, crushing blow, poison damage as a caster class. It's insane. It has style points as well. Yeah, it's super fun. And it's 1 out of 3 builds that can't farm players 8 heralds. Which is a little bit sad. Like, I maxed out on character slots. How is that even? Like, the new content is no joke, man. Like, these players 8 heralds are really crazy. I think I showed you the entire items. This is an assassin, a rare amulet, in order to reach the cast rate breakpoint in the offhand with spirit and call to arms. Or to battle orders, call to arms, so I could have a little bit more HP. My boots of choice is Shadow Dancer because of 2 shadow disciplines. That's Venom, that's Fade, that's Weapon Block, which is at 56% with 1 point in here. And yeah, this is from the Claw. Yeah, I have a 20 Claw Mastery. So how to scale up the Whirlwind damage, right? Plus skills, all the melee stats, like open wounds, deadly strike, or just enhanced damage, things like this on the weapon. And within this assassin skill tree, and that's another reason why I can only play this here in Resurrected. So I have 20 points into Claw Mastery. That's damage, crit, and stuff like that. Nice, passive for when equipping a Claw. Maxed out Claw Mastery, maxed out Venom to apply a massive amount of poison damage with this Whirlwind. This is all 1 point. This should be 1 point. I need a token. Absolutely must have. Must have. Both of those. It's absolutely important to kite these heralds on players 8. It's a little. It requires a little bit of micromanagement and so on, but with these 2 crowd control tools, it will be way easier. I farmed it without. But I'm well aware this needs to be 1 point in the Trapsin, must have. Can't stress that enough. For the traps, the main skill tree, so I mentioned a second ago, it's only possible here. So they changed the synergy. Death Sentry is not a synergy anymore to Lightning Sentry. Therefore, it makes up for 20 points. Therefore, this build is possible in the first place. Because otherwise it would only have 1 point in Venom, probably. So yeah, maxing out the Lightning Sentry. That's the 5 mouse clicks insane damage ability, right? Maxing out its synergies. Boom, boom. I rarely use those. Shockwave is kind of nice if I don't have the Whirlwind. If it would be really a Trapsin, I would probably walk around with Shockwave. Yeah, and that's it. That's it from the Claw. I only have 1 point into like the Corpse Explorer Sentry, which is plenty, even on players 8. Scaling is bad anyways in higher difficulty, but it's still useful. Very useful. Maxing this would only increase the range. If I'm farming, like in the intro, for example, like tombs, why do I need the screen wide range? You know what I mean? It's just little chambers. So in situations like this, 1 point is totally plenty. And since it's not a synergy anymore, not worth maxing, right? This is not worth maxing anymore. Nothing into those. This would only be style points and would even take away durability from the weapons. One quick note on this Whirlwind. You see the durability? 12 out of 48, 19 out of 48. I repaired them 2 Chaos runs ago. So it costs a lot. Yes, Ord runes to repair. You can't have enough Ord runes with this. You will run out of Ord runes, I promise you that. And yeah, it costs a lot of gold to repair these claws all the time. That's maybe one change in the future, will never happen. Wishful thinking, I know, but I will say it anyways. Give this Chaos Runebird, or in that regard, any like Claw Runebird, indestructible mod. And so I can have it in a Ethereal Claw. It would be insane. In other words, think about it. Would you play a Whirlwind Barbarian? Let's say you make a Breath of the Dying. Imagine that's not in an Ethereal weapon. What? Toast. Throw it into the bin, right? So this, it would be insane if this would give indestructible, but it's not going to happen. Since I mentioned it's a 99.9% lightning trapper. By adding this Whirlwind, I'm losing a total of, because this might as well be a second plague, right? And that's another +5 Sentry. Luckily, I have this in a 3 to Lightning Sentry base, but I'm losing +2 to all skills. And then it would be maybe a 18k, Lightning Sentry trap. Times 5, times 10. Always keep that in mind. Oh, excuse me, it's 1 to 16k, right? Don't ask me how this is calculated in the background. But I promise you, there is no scenario, like I'm playing this build since LOD, I'm playing this build, and there's no situations where you feel like, yep, that trap dealt only 1 damage. I saw that. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. But at the same time, I don't exactly know how it works. But it hits like a truck, right? And lightning damage, maybe the best second damage source in the game. I would say maybe magic damage, and second place is lightning. Remaining gear, I have 2 BK rings. Because yeah, I like the life leech with Whirlwind and the flat HP. I have Aura here, all skills, cast rate. Slows target by 10%. Hey, I can apply that with Whirlwind as well. Yeah, my inventory is insane. The renewed crack of the heavens, which can roll all kind of stats. I think some people would prefer the lightning resistance pierce. I'm not sure if you can have both damage and pierce. Makes it crazy expensive, right? Crazy expensive. If I paid a Yara rune for this already, you know what time it is. And my remaining inventory are just trap grand charms. Those with HP, I found them. They would be expensive. A regular one in trading is usually a or a Lem pull if you haggle. That's just some random to help with resistances a little bit. An Annie and a torch. This should be a 10%. Because it will be nicer with the new gem. That gives also experience gained. And it's insane, man. I did like players 8 heralds for a few days, and I started like 2nd or 3rd XP bar, and now I'm here. That's fast. That's pretty nice, and the character is already level 92. In terms of stat distribution, yeah, if Enigma, right, gives a ton of strength, but it's a vitality only. Assassin has very nice scaling. Assassin is tanky. Assassin is really tanky. Almost 2k unbuffed HP. That's nice on a distance build. Yeah, mercenary. I chose the Might Aura for the Whirlwind. Could be difficult. Could be even a Holy Freeze. So in theory, they have to walk slowly through the traps. Traps have easier time hitting them. On the other hand, could shatter to ice cubes. Cannot use the Death Sentry anymore, but it's also not a Death Sentry assassin. Thoughts over thoughts. It's I think he himself needs to hit like a truck, and therefore he has the Might Aura mainly. I give it an Darius for 2 all skills to bring up the aura. Here's a Ethereal Fortitude, and of course the infamous Infinity. And yeah, if you think about it, it's insane. For me, this is insanely fun. To be able to just to have a character like this and try this out and so on. It's also very proud of it. It's not hero editor or whatsoever. Like, I'm actually farmed this up and so on. And yeah, in Lord of Destructions, I had Infinity, Enigma, and that was the godly build then. And now you have, boom, this. Now you have, boom, you can implement Whirlwind. Griffins works with traps now. Usually this would be just a plain Shaco, a boring Shaco or 3-trap circlet. The new charm. It's fun. It's fun to completely drip out like your favorite build. You know what I mean? Yeah, what are the strengths and weaknesses of this build? If I really think about it, strength is definitely that it's insanely powerful. Even without crazy gear. Lightning, that's also like this. What I'm playing right now is also one of the very best season starter builds in D2. This is more or less the final form unlocked of it. So that's a strength, right? The ability is just insane, the Lightning Sentry. And yeah, another reason is all the changes. It's just fun to have all those chase items, in my humble opinion. A downside is I give this a higher difficulty. And I have no idea where the Cyclone Armor is from. It triggers me a little bit. What's proccing Cyclone Armor in my build? I really don't know. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Yeah, I give this a little bit higher difficulty level to play because either in the starter variant or in Players 8 Crazy Herald lobbies, it's the exact same playstyle. You have to kite the monsters a little bit around and make use of like Cloak of Shadows. Positioning is very important. Those traps and the damage is only as insane as the placement of the traps. Right. I would also not just stack them on one point, but have them like around the monster a little bit. Things like this. Then not only the trap positioning, but at the same time watching out for the positioning of the character itself. I'd say that's a downside. Depends. Can be a plus as well if you like a little bit more challenging. In like Players 8, it mows everything down, no problem. But yeah, Players 8 Heralds actually have to play the game. You know what I mean? Another benefit is it's a crazy hardcore character, like the trap assassin, like a budget trap assassin with, for example, the trap claws that you can buy from Anya. Level 75 character required or higher, can be done on Nightmare even. And then you would shop a +3 to traps. 2 of those. And it's +6 free damage from an NPC, which is nuts. And yeah, on hardcore, thanks to the playstyle and thanks to this trick here, the Lightning Trap Assassin or Fire Blast Hybrid at the beginning, it's considered a god tier build on hardcore. That's the thing with the Trapsin. Let me know if you're thinking about this. It's insanely fun. I could grind all day on like these tombs. Why am I farming the tombs? Not even particularly the best for this assassin build, but the density is insane in there. And sometimes you can even get 2 herald spawns in one tomb. I can farm them very quickly and so on. So yeah, but yeah, I could do this all day. No, it doesn't get boring. Insane. But quite expensive. Like high runes. I think I paid a low. Yeah, I paid a low for the Griffins. I paid another low for the gem. And I paid a Yar rune for the new Grand Charm. Crazy expensive. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, Assassin, best class. Second place, maybe Barb or Necro. That's what's up. Thanks again and have a nice day, guys. Later.